college was extremely difficult in that first semester. It was super cold. I remember even one of my first months there, there was a blizzard. In my first semester, there was a blizzard every week for 8 weeks. We missed 8 Mondays of school. And I remember the first one that happened blocked out the heating system of our house. So my body was waking up because it was going in shock. And people don't know this. I was going into shock because of how cold it was. And it felt like my blankets were wet because of how cold it was. The temperature had dropped in the house. And I remember waking up at like 5 and I was like, something's not right. And I was like, why do I feel so cold? Like the cold was in my bones. And I emailed the landlord and I was like, help, I think the heating system has gone off. And I remember even her husband came to fix the heating. And that was completely like shocking. Leave that aside from, I can barely stay awake in a class that I'm supposed to be, it's an art history class. I fall asleep at 4 a.m., at 4 p.m. every day because it's midnight. And I'm adjusting to so many things. That's like incredibly hard. I never left home. I came by myself, starting my journey by myself, and finding family, finding new friends. Some, maintaining old relationships. People actually don't know how hard long distance is, even if it's not necessarily a romantic relationship. So doing that, even points where you're almost homeless in the States when you're a student because your housing is freaking expensive and you can't sublease like how easy it is here. Difficulties like that people don't explain and you're an international student, and your family is back home, and how during COVID, a lot of international students went through that when you're told your visa is about to be changed by administration, where it'll be that technically, since you're not on residence on the campus, then you have to go home and you have to find thousands of dollars or shillings to fly home or even to find a place. So it was crazy. Like, just think about how at that time I experienced that, then watching people I know experience that during COVID. So it seems like privilege problems, but when you're by yourself and isolated, it's hard, man. And how even things like when winter comes, people don't talk because they're all also going through the struggle of, it's called like, seasonal depression. Yeah. And how when you're by yourself, and there was a classmate people knew who committed suicide and no one knew for like 2-3 days because she was on her own, or even losing my teacher who had been with us throughout the semester and just got sick and he was gone like that. Like, the many times I think
Mr. C.
Yeah, Mr. Christian. Yeah. And things like that. Like, even moving back home, feeling out of place, questioning your relevance and your worth, even in school, especially finding, is there a space for me as a musician? There are many, I guess, pitfalls that you feel in life. And I think you cannot taste the view from the hilltop without knowing the valley and knowing the worth of what it does for you, and what it forms in you, I guess even the fire burns out of you. Because in as much as you get privileges, with any sort of freedom, there's responsibility. So, yeah, makes you think.
What were some of the